everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned into Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in playing pretty good football, winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, they can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start. I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now a first carry from Giovanni Bernard. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Dalton gives to Bernard. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards. Yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Looking for Moncrief, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Well, it was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at their own 22. Dalton right back on the horse after the pick 6. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Bernard. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Now the Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd down.
Could be a blitzer.
From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football.
plays like this when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. On 1st down, Turner. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. And they're usually known as quicker than fast.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
In today's NFL, when you get teams in long yardage situations with your defense, you're really going to go to your speed packages. You're going to get smaller, lighter guys on the field in order to cover the expected pass. So they might want to run the ball against a smaller, lighter lineup with your big guys, and that's exactly what happened on that play. It was tough on them, and now instead of being in 3rd and very long, they ended up setting themselves up in 3rd and manageable. They've got a chance at a 1st down. Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Here's Jackson. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Ravens will extend their lead.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, it doesn't take any great analysis. No jokes, partner, okay? All right, on this one. But we just know that we're going to see this as the game moves forward. There's going to be 2 guys on him on just about every snap.
It's kind of a dare to throw his... Looking for Moncrief, and it's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up, They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Getting set to go again, Andy Dalton marches back onto the field. Bottom line, he's got to figure things out. He's completed 3 passes, but 2 of them have been to the wrong team so far.
And when we talk about the best quarterbacks, we're usually talking about touchdown to interception ratio, aren't we? And 2 to 1 is acceptable, but the top line guys, 3 to 1 or better is what they're looking for. Now we're talking about interceptions versus completions. That's not a ratio should ever be in any discussion. And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession. Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And the Ravens taking the field. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll run on 1st down. Turner, room to run past midfield. And he gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throw right side to Perriman, and it's caught. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On 1st down, Turner. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 10 more there and another 1st down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10.
Detroit! Watch him now, Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Tucker now for the extra point. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And it'll end there as he goes out of bounds, but a heck of a return all the way inside the opposite 40.
Forget the idea of flipping the field. They have now put themselves in a position to score points with that big-time return.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right? I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game. Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over.
On second down, Turner. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. 1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 11.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The 21 yards there as they convert on third.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 41. Here's Jackson to throw. Gets past one man. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Now it's Jackson. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Detroit! Detroit!
From the gun, Jackson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. All right, here now a look at A.J. Green. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the 2nd quarter. They're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup. And now they've got a 3rd down and 8.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And this one is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at about the 28. A minute 52 left to play in this 2nd quarter. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the 2nd drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
On 2nd down now. Turner, and he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Damon Harrison, the one on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
To throw on 3rd down, Jackson. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And heading back out there, Giovanni Bernard getting ready to go again. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game, probably something they need to do more of here losing in the second quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Second down, Dalton. Boyd's the target, and he has it over the middle. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Andy Dalton now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. It's second down. Dalton looking. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And they have the football and will take over at the line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Leopard!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Watch him now, Barney!
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and down. And they'll burn the timeout with 5.5 here. It's Jackson. And he's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews as time expires in the first half. And the Ravens add on. And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them.
Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This is taken at his 4. Oh, nice move. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Now Jackson on first down. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. DJ Moore with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Ravens continue to pour it on.
Level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know in the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now a carry for Bernard. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Again, here's Bernard. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? Who? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The roads will be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
They'll throw on first down to Jackson. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They'll run on first down. Turner. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 2nd down, Jackson. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hayden Hurst, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens add on. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Okay, partner. No surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
On first down, Turner. He's to the 10, and he's going to get it all the way down to the 10-yard line. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now it's Jackson, eluding the pressure right. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have used the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Now Tucker to add the PAT. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Dalton here from the gun. And the catch good. It's Eifert. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And it'll... make it 2nd down. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver...
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Well, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Fighting down past the 45. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they had that one snipped out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now Jackson on second down, and he slings one that's incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
The Ravens on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Jackson from the shotgun. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss a one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfired.
We'll talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens continue to pour it on. Tucker now to add the point after.
We know that the big guys won't get the credit, Brandon, but we also know that that touchdown belongs to them. Excellent job of clearing the way for their running back.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. These guys had to been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Dalton throwing on second down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Boyd. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Dalton, 1st and 10. He drops it off for Bernard. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it's a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Passing, it's Dalton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Back now in Cincinnati. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Andy Dalton now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And it'll be Dalton again. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Dalton caught Eifert over the middle. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Now the Bengals on third down, as bad as you can be. 0 for 7 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. This will be Dalton again. And Eifert has it. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Dalton to his big target, Eifert, for the Cincinnati first.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. And Green with a catch left side. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. So 2nd in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
2nd in inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes...
And now here's another interception. Trevor Williams with a pick. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, Brandon Pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. DJ Moore with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Ravens add on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Now the Bengals on third down. Just one conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 10. Dalton now to pass. And now another one thrown incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. When you're in a zone like he is, what's the conversation like on the sideline between he and his quarterback? Is that a one-way conversation of, hey, just keep getting me the football?
It actually is probably a two-way conversation because he wants to keep getting him the football because he's...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Tevin Coleman, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens continue to pour it on.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know there are plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
To the left side here for Eifert. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
1st and 10 for Dalton. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Boyd. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
He's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Passing again. Dalton on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the...
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Here's Dalton. He's got his man here. It's Green. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. And the pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over.
By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Going underneath, it's Coleman. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And down inside the 15 he goes. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Into the fourth quarter now. The offense has got to feel like they've imposed their will and kind of taken the life out of the defense. And you can see it from the perspective of the guy carrying the football. Those holes have to look huge, similar to a great hitter. Seeing a ball come into the plate, and he's in the zone.
And he will get into the... This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Getting ready to go again. Here's Andy Dalton marching back onto the field. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A gain of 6 there on first. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Despite only needing one, Dalton to throw. And that is incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Got his man. It's Eifert. And he's able to get up here to the 26. A gain of 6 there on first. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Were you one of those guys who's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Ravens, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll return home next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10.
If the squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Yeah.